Basically, this chapter, operating system, what does it mean? What are you going to study in this chapter? In this chapter, you will study more about how the allocation and deallocation of the programs is done, how a process means a job means a work for the computer is done. Okay, how they are allotted, which program is going to run first and which is going to run second. Now in this topic, when I'm talking about programs, it does not mean I'm talking about C++ program or HTML program or Java program. No, I talk about a proper job or a proper process. Now what does that mean? when i say when I say कि एक चीज प्रिंट हो रही है, okay, when I say that I am printing one document, at that time that printing is one job, a one program to be executed. When I say I want to type something on MS Word, at that time it is one job. When I say I want something to listen to some music, so at that time that is one job or one program or one process, okay, to get completed. So that we are going to study. We are also going to study the file managements. Okay, now data structure में हमने क्या मतलब basically क्या देखा था, when some set of records or some set of data is coming in my hand, so in which manner I am going to store it, in which way I am going to store it. It can be in array format, in linked list format, in stack format, in queue format, any and how to access the data, that I had studied in data structure. बट इन ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम वो डेटा जब आया है तो मैं उसको कहाँ पे स्टोर करूंगी, वो कैसे रन होगा, everything we are going to study in this chapter, operating system. Now when we talk about operating system, I just don't talk about one operating system. I'm just not talking about Apple or iOS, okay, or I'm not just talking about my Android. No, I am talking about in general what is operating system, overall operating system kya hota hai. Okay, so that we are going to study in this chapter. So the very first definition we will look, we say that an operating system is a program which interacts as an interface between a user and the hardware. Okay, if you see in this diagram, I have very clearly shown you that this is the user and this is the hardware. When I say hardware resources, that means if I want to listen to any music, ओके मेरे फाइल्स कहाँ पे स्टोर होंगे, आप बोलते हो मैम आपके फाइल्स ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम में जाके स्टोर हैं, बट उस ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम्स में से मुझे स्पीकर में से अगर गाना सुनना है, चाहे मैं लैपटॉप पे सुनूं तो उसमें भी मिनी स्पीकर है, अगर मैं मेरे पीसी पे से सुन रही हूँ तो भी मैं एक्सटर्नल डिवाइस मेरा एक स्पीकर अटैच करूंगी, ओके या अगर मैं मेरे मोबाइल में से भी गाना सुन रही हूँ then also I have speakers in it. So some message has to be passed to the hardware device that this person wants to listen to the music, so you start playing the music and giving the sound and give the sound to it, so that message is passed by my operating system. Again, if I want to scan any document, okay, so I hope everyone knows what is scanner. Okay, so I keep the document on that machine and then I just give some commands कि वो स्कैन होके मेरे पीसी पे आ जाए, बट वो स्कैनर के बीच में और मेरे पीसी में आने के बीच में there is something known as operating system which takes place. In your mobile also there is some operating system which helps you for the interaction between you and your applications. अगर आपका ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम ही खराब है, सपोज ये मेरा मीडिया, इफ यू सी दिस डायग्राम, आई एम can you see when I'm pointing to the diagram with a pencil? Anyone just unmute and tell me. Okay, I'll put this. Okay, so if you see over here if you see over here, if my operating system in between, okay, this operating system is not working, if my this operating system is not working properly, so the interaction between the user and the hardware will be zero. Okay, it will be zero. So an operating system is the main thing between the user and the hardware. Now it also acts as a control program. Now what do I mean by control program? Control program means सब कुछ efficiently run होने के लिए, okay, say for an example I give 100 pages to print, okay, but the printer is already busy, so that message is given by my operating system. Say I say कि I want to listen to the music, but I don't have speaker attached to my device, so at that time it the message is given by my operating system. So it also acts as a control program which is responsible for the execution of the programs. Now that programs again can be anything in an efficient and proper way to prevent errors. Okay, to prevent those errors, this operating system acts as a control program. Okay, now the next topic is device driver. Now what do I mean by device driver? Okay, what do I mean by device driver? Now if you have noticed that every device, okay, every device, when you turn on your CPU, every device first gives me a blink. Okay, first it gives me a blink. जैसे अगर मैंने CPU ऑन किया तो पहले मेरा कीबोर्ड में एक ब्लिंक आता है ग्रीन कलर का, मेरे माउस में एक रेड कलर का या ग्रीन कलर का ब्लिंक आएगा, अगर मेरे इसमें स्कैनर कनेक्टेड है तो स्कैनर पे ब्लिंक आएगा, इफ स्पीकर इज कनेक्टेड तो उस पे भी एक ब्लिंक आता है. नाउ व्हाट इज दैट ब्लिंक? Now each device driver, each hardware device in my computer system, each hardware device in my computer system has its own device driver. That means a small software written for its own execution to indicate that every device has to be active. ओके, सो वो एक्टिव करने के लिए, वो जो एक्टिव करने के लिए हर एक डिवाइस का अपना एक अलग से छोटा सा कोडिंग होता है, अपना एक अलग से छोटा सा सॉफ्टवेयर होता है. सो अ डिवाइस ड्राइवर इज अ प्रोग्राम which controls and monitors the working of a particular IO device. Okay, IO device is input output device, and when I say particular means each and every device has its own device driver. That means a small code is written for its execution. See, see here. Okay, without the driver it's nothing. Okay, अगर मेरे पास ये पीसी पे अगर मैंने कीबोर्ड में कुछ टाइप किया और अगर मेरा कीबोर्ड का डिवाइस ड्राइवर इज नॉट एक्टिवेटेड एंड इट इज नॉट वर्किंग, सपोज मैंने कीबोर्ड का अटैच किया और मेरा कीबोर्ड का जो वायर है वो लूज हो गया, सो वो दैट मीन्स वो एक्टिवेट नहीं है, उसका डिवाइस ड्राइवर एक्टिवेट नहीं है. सो विदाउट द ड्राइवर व्हाट कमांड आर यू गिविंग, द सीपीयू इज नॉट गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड. बट इफ you give some command, so this is my drive, it is just a diagram, you don't have to draw it in the exam, it is just for the explanation, that suppose this is my keyboard device, keyboard driver. Okay, device driver है ये मेरा. So अगर मैंने कोई command दिया है, so he said sing a song, so that message the device driver is going to pass to the CPU. Okay, जैसे अभी मैं स्लाइड्स करने के लिए, ये स्लाइड्स रन करने के लिए मैं एंटर दबा रही हूँ. ओके, सो मेरा जो कीबोर्ड का डिवाइस ड्राइवर है, दिस इज अ रियल टाइम एग्जांपल व्हिच आई एम गिविंग यू. ओके, ये जो मेरा कीबोर्ड का जब मैं एंटर की प्रेस कर रही हूँ, सो ये जो मेरा कीबोर्ड का डिवाइस ड्राइवर है, ये ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम को मैसेज दे रहा है कि एंटर, इस मैडम ने एंटर क्लिक किया है. So please move to the next slide. So device driver is also important. See over here, this is suppose my keyboard wala device driver. Okay, so this passes message to this CPU. Clear with this? Okay, so next what we study is components of operating system. Now this components of operating system is system. Okay. Now, when I study about components of operating system, what does that basically mean? Okay. What does that basically mean? Components, I talk about in general. Now, say for an example, if you have any work, if I talk about my Nerul department, if you have any work with CS teacher, to whom do you go? You come to a CS department teacher only. If you have any work related to physics, so you go to the physics department only. When you have any work related to any, say your railway concession, so you go to Dilip, the clerk. Okay, when you have related some work related to the fees, so you go to Lita madam. So that means every job, okay, in my department, the jobs are divided. That अगर कोई भी स्टूडेंट को ये काम है तो वो यहाँ पे जाएगा, वो यहाँ पे है तो वो यहाँ पे जाएगा. ऐसा क्यों है? क्यों है ऐसा? To make the functioning of that particular department, or to make the functioning of that particular system work efficiently and smoothly. Otherwise, a job comes, that means you come, stand and say कि मुझे railway concession चाहिए. And there is a confusion amongst all that इस particular job को कहाँ पर भेजना है, कौन से डिपार्टमेंट में भेजना है, कौन से मैनेजर के पास भेजना है. Okay, and then it creates a confusion. So, but if I divide my components, properly, okay, if I divide my components properly, that this is going to go there, अगर ये कोई काम आया तो ये यहाँ जाएगा, ये कोई काम आया तो ये वहाँ जाएगा. So at that time, it runs my program, or it runs that particular job efficiently. Okay, so basically components of OS mein there are storage manager, process manager, file system, input output control system, and there are some small known as console manager and login log off manager. Now these components, when I'm speaking about, doesn't mean कि ये सिर्फ मेरा एंड्रॉइड में ही है, या ये मेरा सिर्फ विंडोज में ही है, कि ये मेरा सिर्फ लाइनक्स में ही है, यूनिक्स में ही है. नहीं, these components are in general found in any operating system. Maybe instead of 4 components, they must have merged 2 components and make it one. Like they can merge storage, and they can merge file. Okay, now if you go to engineering components, there are total 8 या 6 या 7 components उसमें explain किए. मतलब job उन्होंने और ज़्यादा बोलते ना mini divide कर दिया है. Okay, so components in general, what we study is storage manager, process manager, file system, input output control system, and this. Okay. Okay, so let's start with the very first component. What we are going to study is storage manager. Now when I talk about storage manager, it basically controls the utilization of the main storage. Now what do I mean by the main storage? Main storage means wherein all the programs first initially come to this storage manager जहाँ पे allocation and de-allocation, I'm talking about the first and last point, the allocation and de-allocation of the memory space is done. Okay, now in the further like you have a topic known as functions of operating system. Now there are many techniques used for allocation and de-allocation of space. Okay, so those techniques we are going to study in the further lectures, but as of now in your mind you keep that when we talk about storage manager, so storage manager has allocation and de-allocation. Now, I hope everyone knows what is allocation and de-allocation. Allocation means that if you want to give any space to the program for running, obviously जब मेरा program run होता है, let it be any program, whenever my program is running, it needs some space in the cache memory. Now cache memory concept is not there in your syllabus, but then also I am telling you that cache memory एक concept है जहाँ पे cache memory is like a temporary memory to run the programs. Okay, so वो space allocate करना and de-allocation. De-allocation means to free the memory space so that the next program can come into that space and run. So that work, the biggest work is done by my storage manager. Okay, and next is it terminates the program is if sufficient storage is not there. ओके ये भी एक टेक्निक है, इसमें HPP करके कोई हायर प्रायोरिटी प्रोग्राम्स आते हैं, सो दैट ऑल वी विल सी later. Okay, and it also translates HLL to MLL. Now I hope everyone knows what is HLL and MLL. We have done in 11th standard. What is HLL and MLL? Yes. HLL means higher level language and MLL is machine level language. Okay, so वो convert करने के लिए higher level language से machine level language में अपना convert करने, higher level language what we write and machine level language the binary language or the assembly language used is my machine level language. So वो conversion करने के लिए भी I have this storage manager. Okay, so storage manager takes care of everything. You need not draw this diagram in exam. I have just drawn for your convenience. Okay, कि ये मेरा storage manager है और ये बहुत सारे computers connected हैं and then it takes care of it. Okay, your next manager is process manager. Now process I से बोलते ना हर इंसान का काम important है मेरे department में, मेरे कॉलेज में. Let it be physics department, let it be chemistry department, let it be CS department. वैसे ही मेरे components में भी process manager हो या storage manager हो, every manager takes care of everything very efficiently so that the OS runs smoothly. So when I say that storage manager is important, equally I say that my process manager is also important. Because अगर स्टोरेज मैनेजर का एलोकेशन एंड डी एलोकेशन का काम है, सो प्रोसेस मैनेजर का मेरा प्रोसेस स्टेट एंड प्रायोरिटी का काम है. नाउ व्हाट डू आई मीन बाय प्रोसेस स्टेट? ओके, व्हेनेवर अ जॉब इज कमिंग फॉर द एग्जीक्यूशन, ओके, व्हेनेवर अ जॉब इज कमिंग फॉर द एग्जीक्यूशन, अ जॉब मीन्स एनी जॉब. ओके, अगेन आई विल टेक एन एग्जांपल ऑफ printing. Suppose if I want to print some documents, so that is one job which has come for the execution. So when it comes for the execution, it comes over here. Okay? It is in the start process. That means एक नया process है. Then it comes to the ready stage because already maybe some programs are already running. एक spooling करके concept है that we will study in the next topic in the next slide में. So मेरा process जब काम कोई भी job मेरा execution के लिए आता है, so it has to pass certain stage. Now over here I am talking about one job, only one job. Okay, because process state is related to one job or one work. Okay, so it comes in the ready state and if suppose अगर मैंने कुछ printing के लिए दिया है, okay, मैंने बोला print, so it goes in the running stage. That means in the एग्जीक्यूशन स्टेज. दिस इज माय थर्ड स्टेज. ओके, रनिंग स्टेज पे है. बट if by chance my printer gets blocked. Now what do you mean by blocked? That means my printing is going on and one paper gets stuck in the printer. पेपर कभी कभी अटक जाता है प्रिंटर पे. ओके, आई होप यू नो दिस. ओके, प्रिंटर कभी कभी मेरा अटक जाता है. सो एट दैट टाइम it goes in the block stage or waiting stage. It is also known as wait stage. Why? Because the program has stopped its execution and then it is solving the errors. जो भी है, मैंने प्रिंटर मेरा ठीक किया, वीक किया, and then again that job goes to the running stage. So the job again goes to the running stage. Okay, my time will get over, so you can log in again. Okay, so it goes in the running stage and then as the program has completed, it moves to the end stage, that is the termination state. So that is known as process state. ये आपको एग्जाम में आता है. Okay, process state अलग से भी आता है और प्रोसेसर मैनेजर के साथ भी आपको आता है. Okay, next it keeps the account of priority of the program. What do you mean by priority? Now suppose there are 10 programs running at the same time. Suppose मैंने बोला कि मुझे म्यूजिक भी सुनना है, मुझे स्कैन भी करना है, मुझे प्रिंटिंग भी देना है, मुझे MS Word में टाइप भी करना है. All the 4 things are running simultaneously. Like now over here, if you see, my screen is also getting shared. Okay, my PPT is also getting run, my Zoom is also getting run. Okay, plus my simultaneously पीछे मेरा कुछ run भी हो रहा है. Suppose मैंने कुछ printing के लिए दिया है. So all the 3 processes are running at the same time. So which process has to get the priority? Priority that is also decided by my process manager. Now again, there are techniques to decide कि कौन सा program पहले जाएगा, कौन सा program बाद में जाएगा. So again, processor manager takes care of it, and that we will study. There are some scheduling techniques which is known as scheduling methodology used. So all those we will study in the next class. Okay, so process manager takes care of this. Again, I am repeating, this process state is important, this diagram is important, it is there in notes also, and I am going to pass this PPT also. Okay, okay, मैंने तो ये डायग्राम तो मैंने बोले. हाँ, ये देखो, ये जो मैं आपको प्रायोरिटी वाला बता रही थी, तो वो देखो ये है, इसको हम बोलते हैं क्यू. ये मेरा क्यू बन जाता है. So this is known as, this process 1 is running. Okay, this is in running stage and this process 2 is in ready stage. Okay, जिसको हम लोग ready बोल रहे थे, तो ये मेरा process 2 मेरा ready state में. Okay, next component is file manager. Okay, file manager generally takes care of my डायरेक्टरीज, मैनेजिंग द डायरेक्टरीज. जैसे हम बोलते हैं ना, डी ड्राइव में मैंने अंजना फोल्डर में मैंने मेरे सारे पीपीटी और मेरे सारे क्वेश्चन पेपर्स रखे हुए हैं. सो दैट डायरेक्टरी, दैट सेविंग, जो आपको ऊपर पाथ आता है, इफ यू नो, जब भी आपको एक फाइल ओपन करते हो आपको एक पाथ आता है. सो दैट पाथ मैनेजमेंट इज डन बाय माय फाइल मैनेजर. इट इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर ग्रुपिंग ऑफ फाइल्स अंडर डायरेक्टरीज एंड managing them. Okay, it also sees allocation of file on a secondary storage device. Now what is this secondary storage device? That means अगर आप पेन ड्राइव में कोई डेटा सेव कर रहे हैं, ओके, तो जब आप अपना डेटा पेन ड्राइव में सेव कर रहे हैं, तो पेन ड्राइव में स्पेस है क्या? नहीं. पेन ड्राइव में आप कौन से फोल्डर के अंदर जा रहे हैं? सो दैट इज माय सेकेंडरी स्टोरेज डिवाइस. फर्स्ट स्टोरेज डिवाइस इज माय लैपटॉप और माय मोबाइल. जैसे आप अपने फोन पे भी पेन ड्राइव कभी कभी अटैच करते हैं. ओके, या एक्स्ट्रा हार्ड ड्राइव आप अपने पीसी पे कनेक्ट करते हैं इफ यू हैव लॉट्स ऑफ डेटा. ओके, सो एट दैट टाइम फाइल मैनेजर कम्स इन पिक्चर. ओके, सो ऑल द ऑपरेशंस लाइक रीड, राइट एंड क्लोज, ये हमने अभी वर्किंग विद फाइल्स में देखा है. ओके, इज मैनेज्ड बाय माय फाइल मैनेजर. ओके, and this is just an example of directories. Okay, the file which is, मतलब ये just एक diagram है, एक लॉकर ऐसे दिखाया जैसे जो इलीगल एक्सेस होता है. मैं यहाँ पे इलीगल एक्सेस लिखना भूल गई. व्हाट इज इलीगल एक्सेस? कोई फाइल सेव हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है, उसका पासवर्ड एंड एवरीथिंग इज मैनेज्ड बाय माय फाइल मैनेजर. ओके, the next component is input output control system. Now this input output control system is basically divided into logical IOCs and physical IOCs. When I talk about logical IOCs, it say I say कि मेरा ये मेरा I say that I've connected speaker. Okay, I have connected a speaker, but the wire is not connected properly. Now, okay, my real time example. Now what you have seen is कि मेरा, मैं देख रही थी कि मेरा चार्जर, मुझे ऐसा लगा कि मेरा लैपटॉप चार्ज नहीं हो रहा है simultaneously. So I went and checked the wire first. So that is physical IOCs. That is physical IOCs. That means physically that the wires input output control system में I am just seeing that the electricity, the power is getting transferred to my laptop or no. So physical IOCs is responsible for carrying out devices level IO operations to implement data transfer. Okay, and logical IOCs means it provides the access. अब जैसे जो मैंने देखा कि यहाँ पे मुझे साइन दिख रहा था कि मेरा पावर कनेक्टेड नहीं है, so that was my logical. Okay, now the other components are my console manager. Now what is this console manager? Console manager is responsible for changing the operation mode from supervisor mode to user mode. Now what is this supervisor mode and what is this user mode? Okay, now supervisor mode means जब भी आप अपना PC on करते हो, okay, whenever you turn on your computer, at that time it is in supervisor mode, मतलब monitor mode पे है. And user mode means when I can use it. अब आपका मोबाइल पे भी ऐसा ही होता है, जब आप अपना मोबाइल ऑन करते हो, it takes few seconds to turn on the mobile because it is loading everything. So वो जब सब कुछ load हो रहा है, at that time it is in supervisor mode. That means the monitor mode. And user mode, when you start operating your phone, at that time it is in user mode. Okay, again when you turn off your phone or you turn off your laptop, when you turn on your PC, it takes few seconds to turn it off. Okay, so क्यों? क्योंकि वो सब जितने भी applications है उसको बंद करता है, सब कुछ करता है, and then it gets turned off. So that mode, from supervisor mode to user mode, from user mode to supervisor mode, is taken care by my console manager. Now log on log off manager, it checks the user's authorization like password. Like for an example, when I say that in an account, in my PC I can have multiple accounts. Like suppose you are two brothers and sisters. Okay, so at that time yeah, say for an example मेरे laptop में I have two logins. First login is of mine, of मेरा है, मेरा college का, and second is of my husband's. Okay, so we two are sharing the laptop. जब भी उनको अपना काम होता है वो अपना login करते हैं, और जब मेरा काम होता है तो मैं मेरा login करती हूँ. मतलब different accounts, different accounts. So that is taken care by my log on log off manager. Also a small example, जैसे Gmail में भी बहुत सारे accounts आपके open होते हैं. ओके, सो कौन से अकाउंट पे आप स्विच कर रहे हो वो उसका पर्सनल लॉग ऑन लॉग ऑफ है. तो आप कौन से अकाउंट पे स्विच कर रहे हो, जैसे मेरे इसमें कम से कम 5 जीमेल अकाउंट्स ओपन है, तो कौन से अकाउंट पे मैं स्विच हो रही हूँ, दैट इज आल्सो टेकन केयर बाय माय लॉग ऑन लॉग ऑफ मैनेजर. सो इन ऑल कंपोनेंट्स ऑफ ओएस में, if you have seen that storage manager has its own job, process manager like it takes care of allocation deallocation of memory, process manager takes care of process state and priority, the highlights I'm talking about. File manager takes care of all the files which are under those directories and everything. Okay, and even the illegal access of files, and input output control system basically takes care of my logical IOCS and physical IOCS. And then you have your console manager and log on log off manager. Okay, so today